Some scholars believe the early Christian church met exclusively in a dining format. The relationship between food and faith run deep in the Christian tradition. What can theology tell us about food? And what role does feasting have in a modern Christianity?
So the world, food theologians would say the world is broken because of sin. And it was through a food act that sin came into the world, through eating of a food that God asked Adam and Eve not to. And so food theologians say we are able to redeem the world through an act of eating also. And that is through communion. That is through the sacrament of communion, where we remember Jesus by drinking wine and eating bread together, just as Jesus taught his disciples to do.
What would be some of your favorite things about a group meal?
Is celebrating and being together, and yeah.
Christians talk a lot about being aware of the image of God, like all humans are made in God's image. So it's something to do with the character of God, the character of God being present in each person. And so if you're walking around and talking to people who are little representations of God, we think and act differently. So to find the face of God in the person walking down the street or the person who sits around your table means to seek intimacy, I think. And it's especially easy around the table because, I mean, what brings intimacy more than sharing bread and wine together? It's a safe place.
I think it's important, and it's a great opportunity to connect. And for me, it's about that connection. It's about taking time to pause. There are no other distractions, really, right? And you're collectively enjoying and partaking in the same experience, and it's a very social experience, which I really enjoy. And so, like, that to me is sort of the value of it. Is kind of like the getting together, the focus without the distraction.
It's definitely the bringing of the people together, but because food is the thing that nourishes us, it is the thing that makes the feast so important. And the feast is not just going for coffee. Like, I do think that that's a beautiful experience, but a feast is way beyond that.
Like, I think if we were to gather around the table and be eating McDonald's, it's not the same.
No.
Sure, we'd be having the moment of gathering, and it might be very convivial, but it's a very different experience when we intentionally set aside time, as you were saying. We choose who we're going to gather with. I mean, sure, McDonald's, maybe we chose who we're going to bring to McDonald's too, but this is a different setting. Like, we're choosing our ingredients carefully. There's a lot of intention. There's a lot of forethought. There's a lot of intimacy that's gained around a table that you can't get sitting at McDonald's eating fast food, right?
Plus at McDonald's, like, it'd be done in 5 minutes. I can eat McDonald's in 2 bites. And then the feast would be over too quickly.
A lot of food and theology wants to say that there are problems with the way that food is done in the Western world, or in the world in general. A lot of food and theology seeks to be a part of the redemption of the world, the ongoing redemption of the world that Christ has already begun with his work on the cross, and that God is continually doing through the Holy Spirit in our midst. And I think feasting is looking at that hope, that eschatological hope, because it points to this overabundant outpouring of God's grace.
To be honest, I think when you do it, you don't really think about that. You don't go to somebody's house thinking this is going to be a meaningful experience, but but I think over time it becomes a meaningful experience, because that's how you build relationships with people, is by spending time with them, but also by eating their food. And I think when you cook for somebody, and I'm similar to Carla, I love to cook and I love to bake, and that's how I show my love for people. It's through my food and through giving. And it's not just through giving something, it's through giving of your time, it's through making a beautiful experience, not just the food itself, but how you lay the table, the lighting that you employ. Everything works together to create an experience. It's also the conversation, like everybody chatting together, talking about the food, but also just talking about life. It's old as time, but that connects people.
There are so many images of feasting throughout different parts, different traditions of the Christian church. I mean, we certainly get some of the more austere concepts of meals from traditional churches like the Anglican, Lutheran, Catholic churches. You might, for instance, on Good Friday have a very, very bare meal, but on Easter Sunday it's a feast. And if you've ever had a dinner with Catholics, you'll find out they love to feast. So I would say actually it's the diversity in times of fasting and times of feasting that we can find the story of our faith.
I think even life and Christianity, if we reduce it to its most basic, is really sitting around a table and eating. And if we talk about a Christian feast, like the passing on of faith, I think within the context of family, it happens more at the table than anywhere else.
Well, it is sharing your life and sharing stories. That's what I like, what happens when you feast together. You share stories, and I find that you can have a feast, but then you can have even an emotional feast along with it. You know, that I find really, really fun and interesting, but also I think it makes your heart merry to have a really great feast.
Yeah. I think the feasts especially are amazing at community building. There's something magical that happens when you put together good food, good wine, and people.
Do you enjoy a group meal?
Do I enjoy a group meal? I do.